Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Intergalactic Interviews, episode 161. I'm Jayme McDonald. I'm here with C-Mart behind the board. Say hi, C-Mart.
Hey, C-Mart. Didn't even do it properly.
You're good. We're here with Ben VonDubya from ATD, A Total Disappointment, a Vancouver band here in town. He is the Mike Gobbler.
That's what it says on Facebook, I
think. We brought him in to talk about a little bit of his history and what he's doing out here in Vancouver land. How you doing today, Ben?
I'm doing great, man.
Right on.
It's fantastic to be here. Thanks for having me.
Right on. Thanks for coming.
Of course.
I don't know much about you. I've only known you for a short amount of time, and I don't know much about your history. You wanna tell us where you grew up and how you got into what you do?
Sure, man. So I was born in England. Lived there until I was, I don't know, like 8 or something. Moved to.
So there is an
You're serious?
accent. I was curious a tiny bit, and I was wondering, like, no, he's probably just from here.
Yeah, no, I haven't been told I've got an accent, but I mean, I was like I said, I was like 8. It was like, the 80s.
I thought you were lying when you said you were born in England.
Nope.
Really?
Yeah.
Just opens
You
with
caught me off guard. I was
Opens
like,
with
what?
a bald-faced
Wow.
lie.
I should have. Fuck, that would have been wise.
So you're born in England?
Born in England, yeah.
Wow.
Moved to Calgary in the in the 80s, late 80s, and then grew up in Okotoks, Alberta, just south of Calgary. Started my first band when I was 17, I think, with some fellow Okotokians, and the band was called Genghis Bong.
Nice.
And it was
You guys smoking
Clear
weed?
intentions.
Oh yeah, we had a good agenda. It was like a metal punk hybrid thing. We had 2 singers, and we had a metal guitar player, a metal singer, metal kind of punk bass player, punk drummer, and a punk singer. So it was kind of like a bit of a hybrid, and then System of a Down came out right around the same time. So it was kind of in the same genre as that, I'd say, maybe. And then, did that for a while, and then started a punk band called the Tourettes out of Calgary.
Were you still living in Okotoks when that happened, or you actually relocated at some point?
No, I moved to Calgary when the Tourettes started. And we played for a while, man. We were probably a band for a good decade, I'd say. Some of the members ran a pub bar in Calgary, so they put on good shows. So we always got the sweet opening slots for all the big bands, like the SNFUs and DOAs and Mackenzie's and all that shit.
Sweet.
Yeah, and then moved out to Vancouver about 7 or 8 years ago. My wife was coming out to take a photography course, and that was a year long, and the whole plan was just to come out for the year and move back. But, fell in love with Vancouver and the weather, and, had a lot of friends here already and made a lot more. So 8 years later, we're still here. Started a new band, ATD.
ATD.
And that seems to be going pretty well.
Absolutely.
That's right.
You're also going to school. You got the higher education road that you're going down.
That's right. Yeah, I'm just on the ass end of my 4th and final year of school at BCIT. And a couple months from now, I'll have my Bachelor of Science degree in geomatic technology. We won't bother getting into what that's all about.
Got into that
I
earlier.
don't really want to talk about that.
Yeah.
But
I actually kind of think it's pretty badass.
That's the higher learning that I was talking
that's
about.
the higher learning. Yeah, I
That's
got
the higher learning.
a couple exams tomorrow actually, so
Nice.
You'll
it's
kill it, I'm
coming
sure.
to an end,
Yeah.
which is good.
You're focused on it and doing well?
As well as I can and focused as possible. It's a long fucking push.
Right
It's
on.
a lot of work. It caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it to be that much work.
Right on.
But yeah.
Tell me more about ATD. Was it something that came together when you came out here, or did you have the idea to do this when you came this way?
No, so like I said, we were just going to come out for the year, and the Tourette's hadn't really officially broken up. In fact, we did a show out here with Spree Killers, which I think you were probably a part of.
Pat's Pub, I believe.
Funkies, I think it was.
Funkies, maybe?
Yeah.
Not Pat's?
No, I think it was Funkies. I think we did a double header. We did Funkies and then the Iron Roads after hours thing.
Allegedly.
What's that?
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. Allegedly, we were there. It's a little bit foggy, but yeah. So the plan was to move back to Calgary after the year was up and, see what happened with the band. But, circumstantial stuff with the band kind of fell apart anyway. So when we decided to stay, I played in another band actually in Calgary called the Primitive Screwheads. And one of the members from that band had moved out to Vancouver a year or two before we had, so had a friend out here, guitar player Joe, and we were like, fuck, let's just start a band, old school kind of punk band, and we had another friend, Dave, who is also a Calgary guy, and he's a fabulous...
He's living out in Regina or something now, isn't he?
He's here. He's from Regina or fucking somewhere in Saskatchewan,
maybe it was just
Winnipeg
visiting.
or something. Yeah.
There's no other city in Saskatchewan, I'm pretty sure.
I couldn't find Regina Irvine in your contacts.
Regina Irvine.
Nice.
Put that over here.
That was pretty. That actually kind of got picked up on the mic. That's sweet. I like that.
Sorry about that.
Siri jumps in.
Creepy.
Turn off your
Wouldn't that be
fucking
weird to
phone.
interview Siri for the podcast? Anyway.
She's just interjecting.
Yeah.
I can't figure out what you're talking about. She
Siri,
said.
I'm asking you a question.
I wasn't talking to you, Siri.
Regina Phalange. So Dave was out here already, so we, got him on board. We just needed to find a drummer, and I was doing a tour with the Mackenzies, and I think it was in Vancouver, the last show of the leg that I was doing with them, driving for him. And I was wearing my Dreadnoughts t-shirt, and this fucking scrubby looking dude comes up and he's like, nice shirt. And it was Marco from the Dreadnoughts. And I asked him, what are you doing these days? He's like, not much. Dreadnoughts is kind of real sort of spreading it out pretty thin.
Between runs. Yeah.
He's like, so I'm kind of looking for something to do. And I was like, well, fucking perfect, man. We are looking for a drummer. And we want to play punk music. And he's like, if I can play as fast as I want, I'm happy. And we're like, done.
Classic drummer request.
That's what he wants.
Yeah, so we started jamming and, put an EP out before it even played a show. Launched the Facebook page and pretty well received right away, and had to actually write a bunch more songs to actually be able to start playing shows. Then yeah,
It's nice to have those ins with some established acts. Being able to. I drove for you guys a couple weeks ago. Dreadnoughts and ATD on some island dates, and man, it just makes sense. It just makes sense to have an established act like that with members that are in the opening act and the headlining act. It's totally makes sense.
Yeah, and it makes it easy. Mm-hmm. We've done a bunch of shows with the Dreadnoughts, obviously. Again, knowing people is what it's all about. Mm-hmm. So our first show as a band was sold out rickshaw show with the Mackenzies.
That's nice. That's
talk about fucking
venue.
Yeah, and I mean, like, for a first gig, man, like, can't ask for anything better than that.
I mean, you could, but you shouldn't.
So we're definitely very fortunate, and we appreciate how lucky we are with the people we know and, the opportunities we've been given.
Absolutely.
But we like to think that'll only take you so far. Kind of have to be a little okay to keep it trucking, I guess.
You're also very entertaining.
Yeah, well,
very entertaining.
We like to have fun.
I've never seen a Total Disappointment show. What's the thing? Is there just fun?
God.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Aggressive.
Aggressive? Is that a thing? Okay.
It's pretty aggressive. We try our hardest not to get too drunk
Hard
to play.
charging. It's hard charging.
Oh, okay.
For sure.
What's with
Yeah, it rips.
Can we talk about the name?
ATD.
Yes. It seems like I don't know. Maybe it's just you, but why are you part of bands that are just like some of the names?
Tourette's,
You
a
got,
total
like,
disappointment.
Yeah.
The screwheads.
The
It's
screwhead,
like-
yeah. Like, is
Well,
that it? Are you pushing the names?
No,
Or-
I actually didn't come up with any of the names for any of my bands.
Because I love them all, by the way. Just wondering if
I feel like you got to have something a little not too serious.
Sure,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Okay.
A total disappointment. I think our friend Boone, who plays in the Ancients,
Totally.
I think he
Juno
may
nominated
have-
this year.
Yeah, that's right. Again, right? Yeah.
Wow.
So I think he coined the name for us, as far as I know.
It sounds like a drunken decision.
Probably.
You're just like, ah.
It's gonna be a total
total
disappointment.
Yeah, like wouldn't it be funny, guys? You're like, fuck yeah, it'd be funny.
That's right. That's right.
I like it though. That's sweet.
The Primitive Screwheads in Calgary, that was, we basically just did all of our songs were sort of words, lyrics, I guess you could say, out of fucking Army of Darkness movies or just whatever, like,
Okay.
80s sci-fi horror shit.
I love it.
Weird.
It was it was like a side band fun thing. I was drumming. I'd never drummed before in my
Are there
life.
any recordings out there of that stuff?
Yeah, there should
Online?
be on Bandcamp probably, or
Nice.
Primitive Screwheads on Bandcamp.
maybe Facebook.
Maybe.
There might be, it's been a while since I've checked, but there might be some on Bandcamp. There might be some on. There's probably a Facebook page lingering, maybe still. I can find out. I
Nice.
guess
People will search. I guarantee you, they're searching it right now.
right now
They're
we are
listening to you
live.
talk. But
That's awesome.
What was that first band though?
Genghis Bong.
Yeah.
just gone.
Yeah, you're definitely
Were
not
you
going to find
involved in
any.
that
Not
one?
gonna find any of that.
You're not going to find
Were
any
you
of that.
involved in
That's
that name?
lost.
I don't know, man. We smoked a lot of weed back in those days.
Weird. That's weird.
So I'm not really sure who came up with that one. I'll take the credit.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Came up with that one.
If you ever want to resurrect that act, I'd be willing to throw down some bass on it.
All right, man.
Let me know.
All right. Yeah, you definitely won't find any of that shit. There was that was fucking late '90s. I think we started that. Maybe even.
Primitive Screwheads is on Bandcamp.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Looking at it right now. Swallow this.
Really?
That's what
Really?
it says right here.
It is. It's right there.
Yeah.
Primitive Screwheads.
I assume this is
that
the
can't
thing.
be.
I don't think that's us.
Did you
No.
have it?
There's another primitive.
That's not you on the album cover?
Well, I mean,
I don't. No, that's not us, man.
weird.
Wow.
Okay,
There's
I'll look
actually-
into this a bit more.
We're gonna have to do some research to see what actually
Anyway.
went down here.
I might have to get some money out
Royalties?
of this. Yeah.
That's unusual.
There's another band out there called Primitive Screwheads.
That's so strange. Oh, there's Primitive Screwheads and Primitive Screwheads
Oh,
official.
that's got to be you guys.
That's us.
Oh, okay.
I got that fucking tattoo on my arm.
Oh, nice.
That's the one.
Nice. That's so
the
weird
one,
that
yeah.
there'd be another one. What's that? Anyway,
It looks
Anyway.
looks like a drum kit skull.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a
Crossbones drum kit
it was
skull.
a quick doodle, and we all
amazing.
decided we'd
I
get
like
the
it.
tattoo.
it's pretty sweet, actually.
And I
like
believe
it.
I'm the only fucking idiot who got it.
It was all decided.
Yeah.
Nice.
And when we saw mine, we're like, oh, fuck that. Chicken scratch.
Nice. That's sweet.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys have planned? What's ATD got on the horizon?
So
Album
next,
coming out?
we've got an EP split coming out with The Core, another Vancouver band.
Of course.
Friends of the show.
Of course,
of the
Dan
show.
Garrison. Yeah,
Yep.
he's actually our newest official member.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So we can go.
That for some reason that keeps on slipping my mind. When we were at the Savoy the other night for that show, Dan Garrison comes up. He's like, "Hey, how's it going?" I was like, "Oh, if I knew you had been here, I'd have baked you a cake." And he was like, "I'm playing in ATD." I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god!"
Right.
I
So
literally drove you across the island to play in that band, and
with us,
for
right?
some reason
so,
I just forget.
So that weekend was our first two shows with Dan.
Yeah.
And we kind of had him under the pretense that he was just filling in for these shows, right? And we'd kind of, these shows were already booked before, our last guy got fired, quit.
Do you want to talk
Allegedly.
about that? Do we want to talk about that?
We can talk about that. Yeah, so we lost our guitar player, Kevin. Fabulous guy. Different kind of direction for him, like he's more of a rock kind of stoner rock and roller. Great guy, great musician. Wasn't having much, I don't want to say he wasn't having fun, but he wasn't really feeling it. He was, head somewhere else. Like, we all do this for the love of the music, right? So if you're not playing music you love.
Yeah, fair enough.
So we fired him. No, we.
There was a ceremony.
No, we left on good terms. It was all good. But we had those shows booked, so we got. I called my friend Troy. kind of stressed out with that, and I had exams and shit. So Troy's like, ask Dan, he'll do it. He's fucking professional. He'll have the songs down in a day, you know. So we did. Dan jumped on the chance and
shows up with that gold top Gibson and just
beautiful fucking guitar. Yeah. So
destroys.
so went out and played Cumberland, and after that first show, we were like, you know, we know he's a busy guy, plays in the Real Mackenzies, plays in the Core. He's busy as fuck, but we just gelled so well. You know, we had so much fun. He's such a fun guy. And, you know, we just decided kind of right there, like, if you want to be our full-time, we'll work around your schedule, obviously. If there's shows we can't pass up, we'll just attack them as a 4-piece like we originally were. But, you know, finding somebody else who could fit with us as well as that would be tough. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So we just said, you know, if you want it, man, we're in. And he jumped on it. So we're stoked for that. So yeah, so his other band, The Core, we've got a split coming out with them. And if all went well, Marco should have had that submitted probably today, hopefully.
I believe in Marco.
He is.
I don't know this person. I'm just blind faith.
Well, he's Swiss.
Oh,
Put it
okay.
that way.
Swiss.
But yeah, so we got all.
Is that what that accent is?
Yeah.
I thought he
that
was
could
from
just be
Montreal or
drunk.
something. I thought he was from Montreal.
Well, the Dreadnoughts called him the Swedish bastard, which is confusing for people, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got the music all done. It's just a 4-song split. Got the artwork all done, so that should be hopefully ready for St. Paddy's Day. That's our next show, the Marco Fest extravaganza.
That's with the Dreadnoughts at Rickshaw.
At the Rickshaw,
Right.
That's right. So it's a double night. Friday night is like Anteater, Russian Tim, and the Pavel Bures,
Oh.
who I love.
I believe it's
both
Pavel
those bands.
Bures.
My bad. Who else is on there? Daggermouth's on that night.
Paddy Wagon. Did you say Paddy Wagon?
No.
No.
No, that's not.
No, I didn't say it. It could be. There's a few. There's quite a few. I think
yeah.
it's like 5 or 6 each
Totally,
night,
yeah.
right? And then Dreadnoughts are headlining both nights.
Totally.
Night we're on is, Slip-Ons, maybe? Can't remember who else, but then us, Bishop's Green, who
yeah.
I've been wanting to play with for a while. My friend Morgan plays with them now, and
Major
stoked.
things happening for them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're exploding, and I couldn't be happier to play with them. And then Dreadnoughts again, of course, and every time we play with them at the Rickshaw, it's pretty well attended, so that should be fun.
I think that's happening during the Mackenzie's tour. Is Dan?
Dan won't be with us.
Dan's going to be
No.
with the I'll
Yeah.
be with them.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure it happens the same night we're in Calgary.
That's right. They do Calgary every year,
Yeah.
religiously.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the next one we've got coming up, and then I think we're going to start working on getting a full length together. We've got a lot of EPs on Bandcamp. We got a lot of unfinished material.
We've spoken about this on past shows where just the way material's released these days, it's tough to put out a whole album.
I don't
Yeah.
see
And everyone seems to be putting out these EPs or solo songs. Like, you know, you go
Singles,
on
yeah.
Spotify or whatever.
Singles,
it's
yeah,
all
yeah.
singles all day.
Yeah.
When you get down to like the punk bands and all that, we're all releasing EPs.
Well, like I said, man, I've been in school for the last 4 years, so I've been pretty fucking buried in that.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the band's been really good with giving me my time and, you know, whatnot. So haven't had much time to, you know, work on songs and recording and, you know.
Do you all write? Or is it kind of a
Yeah,
central...
let's talk about your writing process for ATD.
Okay, so it's been a while, but typically it would just be me and Joe having some drinks and getting a little loose in his kitchen. He'll have a riff, maybe.
Acoustic or electric?
We'll usually play on his electric, but yeah, just him and me, and either I'll have a sort of a riff and a melody in mind, or he will, and then we'll sit down together, just the two of us, and kind of put them together, just like, you know, the roots of it anyways, you know, verse, chorus, kind of whatever.
Absolutely.
Establish some lyrics, and then take it to the band, and then just kind of build it from there, polish it, kind of you know, they obviously, you know, we got good musicians, so they, you know, want to have a say. We want them to have a say as well, so put the songs together.
That's how you keep everyone happy.
That's right. And this is I've never written like this before in any other bands. It's usually like guitar player has a riff, drummer has his thing, you know, it's not like a unified thing, you know. Everybody just kind of puts their piece on and it just kind of is what it is. There's no real, you know, craftsmanship. Well, I guess there is an element, obviously there's got to be, but this is the first band I've written in this fashion, and it seems to be working well. I'm happy with the results, and it's not the lyrics are a lot sort of more thought out, a little more relevant and important. My last band, the Tourette's, was great, but it was all just like tits and fart jokes, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like
You're maturing.
yeah, maturing. But yeah, so that's how that goes down. But yeah, so we're hoping to jump on the road with the Mackenzies next year. So for that, we want to make sure we get a full length together. So we've got a bunch of...
Would that be for the Canada West Coast thing
Western
that they do every
Canadian,
spring?
yeah, that's
the
right,
St.
yeah.
Paddy's Day run.
That's right, yeah, we're in early sort of talks with that, but, you know, we're jazzed to get on that if that can go down.
Oh, you guys would fit in great.
Just, move it a little bit closer. It's all good.
Yeah, so, yeah, that'd be fun. I mean, they're you know, all our buddies, and my wife does photo shoots for them all the time and stuff, so we're pretty close to those guys. So it'd be a fucking blast. But yeah, we'd like to have a full length together for then. We've probably got, you know, half a dozen songs that have not been finished or recorded. We've also got, you know, 4 EPs, I think, that are on Bandcamp but haven't really been. We've only got one pressed and released. Like physical record. So we could potentially just kind of remaster and mix. Yeah, box set. Best of. First full length, greatest hits.
Do you find, like for merch and stuff, do you find like you sell more, like is physical copies kind of relevant to your like financial kind of thing, or is like
I think what he's saying is, are you making any money?
No. I just mean like, I mean like, you know, regardless if you're making money, I mean, are you selling through your physical copies, or
records,
are you selling more ancillary stuff like shirts and shit like that?
We sort of sell a bit of everything. Like we've never really had a huge merch run anyways. Like we're still a pretty new band, right? So we've had a couple of runs of shirts and some patches and buttons and stickers and shit, but we've got... We sell the shirts, we sell the records. They all seem to go for the first bunch of. Look at that.
Gtone's got to go back.
He's got
you got the prime spot on the back.
I love that you have this recurring theme of the multiple-eyed.
Is that a thing?
That's the bunk. That's the bunk monk.
Bunk monk.
Yeah.
The bunk monk.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll tell you a story about the bunk monk. Me and my wife went traveling in Asia and. You
got some fans back there.
Australia and shit. Who is that guy?
Who are you?
So for audio only people, there's some girls outside they're interested in this. Anyway,
where was I?
Bunk monk.
Oh yeah. So traveling around Asia with my wife, and we were in Bangkok.
She's Irish. Oh. Sorry.
Cool. Jesus Christ.
Nice.
You're fans.
Yeah.
They look like ATD fans for sure.
Yeah. Oh.
So we're in Bangkok, and there was a thing on the news going around about this dude. Like obviously in Thailand, you know, the monks are, you know, highly looked upon, and they line up
Buddhist,
in the morning, and
monks.
the Buddhists, they line up in the morning and they get they go out on the street and they get given money and food and whatnot, right? So there was this one dude who got caught dressing up like a monk, going out and getting money and food in the morning, and he would go home and fucking put on his coveralls and go off to work, building houses or whatever,
like
right?
A breakfast, quick
Yeah,
breakfast.
so like he got pinched, sacrilegious as fuck over there, so that was a pretty big deal. So I was like, you know, bunk monk from Bangkok, so it turned into one of our songs. And we ended up, our second EP, I think, is called Bunk Monk, and we got a guy named Burrito Breath we found on Instagram. He's a pretty pretty cool artist. He did our first EP cover, which is "Kill Your Selfie." It's like the Instagram logo shooting itself in the head. So he did that one for free. So we went back and we got him to do the Bunk Monk, and that's been sort of like a theme for our.
I've
He's
seen
kind
it
of
with
our
sunglasses on and
Yeah.
Bit of a
no
mascot.
sunglasses,
headphones, smoking, drinking.
total running theme. I love it.
Yeah, he's kind of our mascot, I guess.
You know what I love about it? When you try and look it in the face, you can't focus on any part of the face because it's got multiple eyes.
The 4 eyes.
And
Yeah,
I think there's something really weird about that.
it is really hard,
You
man.
know, you can't focus in on the face because it's got too many eyes, and I think we're used to looking at just 2 eyes.
Yeah,
If there's too many eyes,
yeah.
you can't.
Too many eyes is
You
an
can't
odd.
lock in.
Yeah,
A
you're
buddy
right.
of mine.
Literally, your body can't lock in. It's just a big fuzz.
Yeah, a buddy of mine in Calgary did a portrait tattoo of Steve Buscemi with
Okay,
4
yeah.
I
eyes,
think I saw the poster.
and it was such a fucking mind fuck looking at that thing, man. You can't grasp it. It's strange. It's a cool illusion.
Yeah,
I
that's
dig it.
funny.
We're
What is
off
the?
that
What's
greasy
there's
guy?
that one? Yeah, sure. Thank you. There's that one. Like I think it's like a Trump image or whatever, but they replace like anytime you replace someone's eyes with their mouth,
Yeah,
and you have their mouth
Oh,
and their
yeah,
eyes
yeah.
doing
Saw
the
that.
same thing.
Totally.
It's
Trump's
always a fucking.
creepy,
It's just so trippy. Like it's
creepy
like,
as could
God.
be.
yeah,
Yeah, it's so weird. Eyes are. It's weird that they're important. Like
Eyes
it
are
makes
totally
sense.
important.
I mean, obviously they're important, but like it makes sense that like humans aren't accustomed to like things that fuck with eyes.
Yeah.
Like artistically, you're just like,
Yeah.
It's like something disconcerting about it.
Yeah.
It's neat.
Absolutely. Very
Anyway,
neat. Very
cool
neat.
story, me.
Very. That's interesting, man. It's fucking interesting.
Okay, I'm gonna cut to the question that everyone wants to know. Steve Pearson from You Big Idiot posed it earlier. He wants to know, do you practice your stage faces? And if so, which one is your favorite?
Oh.
Jesus Christ, Steve. Well, well, I can't say I do practice my stage faces. I would have thought that was pretty apparent. Most of the photos I've seen of our shows are
Can we
making some
see an
fucking
unpracticed
retarded
stage face?
Yeah, no, I have no idea. Not only do I not practice, half the time I don't even really know what I'm doing up there. You know what I mean? I just kind of show mode and go for it. But yeah,
Pouring it out.
pouring it out. But yeah, I definitely don't practice my stage faces. And until a little while ago, I didn't even know I had stage faces until someone told me you got a lot of stage faces.
1,000 stage faces.
Got 1,000 expressions. I was like, oh,
I would say it's
Kinda
the
roll with that, I
emotions that your heart
yeah.
expresses.
Yeah, I'm real
Across your
passionate
face
about
when you're
this
in
bunk
it.
monk, right? You know, what the fuck is
The
this
bunk
guy
monk.
thing? That's right. So, yeah, I don't know, man. And also, I'm not doing anything on stage. I've got the easiest job of just being the singer, so I gotta do something. Gotta
Oh,
put on
yeah,
a
yeah,
show.
I see
Gotta
what you mean,
entertain.
yeah.
Have fun, right? I'm not just gonna stand there like a knob. Make goofy faces. I don't fucking know. But thanks for the question, Steve.
Thanks for the
Appreciate
question,
that.
Steve. Everyone look up You Big Idiot and
Yeah.
check out that stuff. Waiting for them
Yeah,
to
it
drop
can't-
their new
the
videos.
You Big Idiot is actually kind of hidden by your mic. But yeah, there it is.
They're good buddies of ours,
so
man. They're a great
Represent.
band. They've done a
They've
episode
been on
on
here.
Oh
there.
yeah, they've been on
Absolutely.
here. Yeah.
What did,
Well,
they always do the
couple-
costume thing. What did they come on as?
Fuck. What did they come on as Guy Fieri?
Oh, they were all Guy Fieri.
I think so. I can't
they
remember.
were totally.
I think so.
All different guys.
Those,
here.
honestly, I've never gone from zero, like not knowing a band, to immediate forever fan faster than You Big Idiot.
Yeah,
Like
they're
I was at
fabulous.
one of the Rocket from Russia shows, and I was like, yeah, I'll stick around. Obviously, stick around, listen to everybody, and it was awesome. But then You Big Idiot takes the stage. I think they're all cows.
Is that the Home Improvement?
No,
oh,
they were.
the cows.
I think they were. Maybe they were Home Improvement. Like, anyway, I can't remember. But like, fuck.
I was at the Home Improvement
Immediately, I was like,
It was good.
you guys are
Yeah,
too
they're-
much.
they're
Like,
great.
This how the ownership of it.
Oh, yeah,
Not
dude.
just like, oh, we're dressed up. No. The whole set.
Yeah.
The
Dude,
whole
totally.
banter,
The whole theme, everything, dude.
It's like it's a performance.
Yeah.
It's a one-off performance. that
And
you
they
get.
fucking nail it every time. Like it's like I don't know how much they practice or rehearse.
I think
that,
a lot.
but I think they're just natural actors.
From the,
you know
from
what I
the
mean?
intro music that they walk out
Yeah.
on stage
Yeah.
Oh,
to
yeah.
the introduction to everyone on stage to like they write a song that it's ridiculous what they do.
I never gone, like I said, from like, hey, who are you? Oh, forever fan.
Yeah.
Like always, if there's an opportunity to see them, and it makes sense to like go or whatever, definitely gotta go.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. First time I saw them, I was hooked. They're great, man.
Yeah.
And the music's fabulous too.
Oh,
you
it's-
know,
and
like,
they're
killing it.
I'm
fucking
a
rad.
big
Of
No
course.
Effects fan.
Oh,
you
okay,
know,
yeah.
so they're obviously heavily influenced. 90s,
very
No
in the vein
Effects.
of
I love it.
90s No Effects. Great writing, always entertaining.
Yeah. And they never have a bad show. Those guys they must practice all the fucking time. They're great. Yeah.
Or it
Good
just comes
stuff.
natural. I don't know. Maybe
That,
they just
that Home Improvement show they did.
The Home Improvement
must
show
have
was
seen,
awesome.
You must
I
have
think I've
seen me
seen that
botch
one.
that one song of theirs.
it was I'm pretty sure it was like the last one of the last shows at the
Media Club.
Media
It
Club,
was the
yeah.
first
Oh,
night
nice.
of the
Yeah.
two nights. We played the second night, but that first night they asked me to come sing Concrete Slippers with them. So, you know, I was stoked. It's definitely my favorite song of theirs. It's nice and short, to the point. So I was, just practice in the shower. I didn't actually even practice with them. Get up on stage, and they're like last on, so I'm kind of, half in the bag. And they take
Allegedly.
off on this song twice the fucking speed of the record. So I'm like, trying to keep up. And I'm
Way
just
behind.
like, fuck, like, this is already a 45-second song. And I think they chopped it down to 20, and I was still on the first verse, and they finished the song. I'm like, what the fuck? God damn it. Sorry about that.
That's funny.
Nailed it. I think the last time I saw them was at the Rocket from Russia thing at the Cobalt a couple of weeks ago. They played with the Core and
nice.
and a couple other bands, but ATD was playing that night.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I drove you guys down there.
Yep, and that was their first show as a 5-piece with a new
Mr.
guitar.
Danny Garrison of Ellesmere.
Kurt.
Garrison, Jesus Christ, Kurt
Yeah.
Anderson.
Yeah,
Not
I ran
Danny
into him.
Garrison.
I ran into him last night at Go Bordello. Yeah, he's a great fit. He killed it.
Kurt's
Nice.
one of my favorite people on the face of the planet.
Nice,
Him,
man. Yeah.
him and Jackie,
Yeah.
best. They're the
Don't
best.
know him very well at all, but seems like a good dude and perfect fit for you, big idiot.
Kurt's amazing.
Yeah,
I keep on bringing it up, but I'm in Ellesmere with him.
yeah.
We've got
And Morgan.
members. Morgan from
Yeah.
Bishop's Green is an Ellesmere member, but he's all over the world, and we're just kind of
Yeah, that's
limbo.
What happens, I
we're
guess.
just in limbo.
Trying to keep
What a
up.
project! What a project! I wish we could do something with it, but it is what it is for now. For now,
Yeah.
anyway.
My friend from Calgary, one of the guys I started the Tourette's with, Phil Schumacher. He was, raving about Ellesmere before I had even ever seen you guys or met any of you. He played in a band called Torches to Triggers.
Totally.
He's affiliated
Edmonton?
with Bird Attack Records, Calgary.
Calgary, Alberta for sure.
And he does PS Entertainment. He's like one of the most professional promoter dudes I've ever, had the privilege of knowing. And it's intense actually kind of just talking to him even. He's just got it so much together. But anyway, yeah, good
Nice.
people. Good people. Big fan of Ellesmere anyways, he was. So
I feel like there's really a strong community in Vancouver. I don't know if it extends beyond wherever, but it seems like, we've had a lot of people on the show to seem like it's kind of connected, and it seems like there's
Tons of support. The punk scene.
like it seems like a time when there's various Vancouver has a strong history in punk and like this music in general, but then like this feels like a bit of a time when there's people that want to see some rad music.
It takes strong promoters
Yep.
to step up and bring the right acts together. It takes the right venues to allow
Be available.
these promoters to bring these acts into these venues. And then it's the acts that are brought into these venues by those promoters that play together and recognize. It's like, well, hey, you and your 25 people that come to your show,
Yeah.
and us and our
see.
25 people that come to our show,
Yeah.
if we get
Now
together,
it's 50,
we end
yeah.
up with 50 at the show. If we
That's
had
right.
2 more bands like that,
yeah.
we end up with 100 plus at
Full
a
bar.
show, and it turns into
Yeah.
an amazing night. And it's guys like Russian Tim. That totally
Yeah.
What a fucking
But it just
gem.
feels Russian Tim.
What
is
a fucking beauty.
What
the
a beauty.
best. But it just feels like one of those. It feels like that's happening.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I think that's awesome.
I fully agree.
Even cross-promoting with promoters, not just a promoter seeing other bands and bringing them in, but now Russian Tim's working with like Seamus from Not Your Buddy.
That's right. Yeah.
Not Your Buddy's been building their brand for, I think he started the year after I got here, so maybe 6.5 years, something like that.
Yeah.
To see Russian Tim and Seamus working on shows together,
Great idea.
That's a beautiful thing.
Great idea,
because
yeah.
they're both working for the same cause.
Absolutely.
They're both promoting the same, well, some of the same acts.
Yeah.
But if they can totally cross contaminate those acts.
Cross-pollinate probably is more
Pollinate.
open,
Cross-pollination.
more open-minded, like a little bit more positive. But
Hey, it's still punk rock, man.
yeah, no, it's contaminated. Fuck that. Not pollinate, contaminated. But no, I don't know. It just seems like one of those things where like the Rock from Russia show is obviously wonderful, but like it's like I want to invite anyone who I don't even know. I'm like, you should go to a Rocket from Russia show, like one of those big showcases, because I'm like, I guarantee you're going to have fun.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like punk music.
Yeah. No,
Like that's the kind of what I'm talking about. Is like so.
Tim's
it seems like all
got
the
such a
bands are
strong
fun.
reach that these Wednesday shows that just wrapped up at the Cobalt were great.
Yeah.
Well, I don't
Very
know
well
anything about
attended.
that. All right.
He did Punk Rock Wednesdays for
Punk Rock
every
Wednesdays
Wednesday in
for all of-
January.
Oh, okay.
Was it January?
All of January, except for the first one, because that was
Right.
like the
Yeah.
second or something.
Right.
No one likes the first.
4 Wednesdays in a row at the Cobalt, and I only got to go to the last one, which was ATD Core.
You big idiot.
You big
Core
idiot,
Core
and-
was the week before, I think.
Oh, Core wasn't there.
There was Off by an Inch
Oh, right, Off by an
nice.
Inch.
and Tim's band. Russian Tim and the Pavel Burris.
Pavel Buress.
Buress. But yeah, I know what you're saying, man. About the community here in Vancouver and the punk scene. It's
Seems
phenomenal.
strong. It's cool
phenomenal.
that the Cobalt's back.
It's
Like,
definitely getting stronger.
yeah.
Yeah.
It seems
It's
like
not so divided.
Yeah.
it doesn't. Yeah, it seems like it's not the crest. It's not the.
Yeah,
It's
and
not
it's
like
not
the-
it's not sticky at all, man. Like we were accepted into it right away, and like you were saying, man, all the bands you play with, everybody is all supportive of each other. Everyone's on the same page. There's no fucking negativity and animosity.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing, like that Rocket from Russia Fest at the Media Club there, man. Like from the first band, who was Anteater, I think, like
Killed it.
fucking unbelievable, dude. They like opening the whole festival to a packed house, just absolutely fucking
Them and
phenomenal.
anthems. I
Anthems, yeah, dude.
came away from that festival saying Anteater and anthems.
Yeah, a 2-piece anthems sound like a
Nice.
full 5-piece band. But anyway, my point
Anthems,
is like
two A's.
the level of talent in the
Yeah.
punk scene. Like, I mean, punk scenes, there's always going to be good bands, but there's, it's punk bands. So
Sure.
there's always going to be some sort of, just kind of, hack bands, whatever. No offense to anybody, and I'm not, trying to put myself up, but the level of talent in the punk scene in Vancouver right now is fucking phenomenal. It's mind-blowing. Like you said, man, you go to that Rocket from Russia festival, there was 10 bands, I think, and every single one of them just knocked it right out.
Killer.
Friday
yeah.
and a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
5
knocked
bands
it
on.
out, man. Like,
Killer.
yeah.
But that's Russian Tim, and Tim's got kind of this perch that he sits on because he's the radio guy, and he's got this view of all the shows that come into Vancouver, and
Yeah.
he sees what's going on here, he sees what's going on there, and that's when he started bringing, like I said, this band with their 20 people and this band with their 20 people. That's where the Rocket from Russia things came. He was really trying to bring all the little scenes together.
Yeah. Well, I'm very, very proud and feel very fortunate to be part of it, for sure.
Absolutely.
It's lovely. That's a lovely feeling.
It seems like they're also fun, like live, like you have some show faces. I have not seen ATD, so I can't. But it just seems like it's worth seeing.
Yeah.
It's what it seems like it comes back to. Like it's like there's
Always
one
worth
thing to like have, your releases or whatever, but another thing to be like, hey, you should come see it though.
Well, that's what it's all about. You know what I mean?
And I know that's classic, but
Yeah.
it's just still
There's
special.
lots of times where you hear a record and you're like, fuck, this is fabulous. You go see the band, and you're kind of like, well, you know,
Yeah,
whatever.
it's good,
kinda
but you're like,
boring to
I
watch.
kind of.
So I think
Yeah.
The producer worked hard on this one.
that's right. But I think like for
Or they
local,
just couldn't replicate that particular thing, right?
right?
Like some things sound differently. In
Yeah, and I mean, even if
headphones or
they
whatever.
play perfect, you know, if
Yeah.
they're not fun to watch, you're still losing half of, like, maybe more, like the visual
no,
aspect of
fair
a
enough,
show is
right.
what it's all about. I think that's what a lot of local sort of independent bands work hard on that anyway, right? Because that's all you got.
No, it's true.
That's what you got to do to get people in. So you got You Big Idiot, put on a fucking
Cow costumes
put
or
on a
whatever.
fucking rock opera every
Oh,
time.
that's what I was going to say.
So it's
The
Moo
last one I
Big
saw
Idiot.
them at
Moo Big Idiot.
That's
yeah.
the
at
one
the
I
Cobalt.
first
They
saw.
came out and they did The Office.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was great.
It was
Yeah,
so good, dude.
obviously.
And with Kurt Anderson now, Steve, the singer, doesn't need to fucking
Colin.
Colin doesn't need to play guitar anymore.
So you can
So
just
he's up
focus on
there
being a
doing
fool.
his shtick, full on shtick.
Unimpeded.
He's got his desk
Unimpeded.
and his office chair and his phone, and he's just fucking yelling
yeah.
shit at the new guy.
Pouring his beer into his coffee cup.
No, he
oh yeah,
wouldn't.
just
Oh my
ridiculous, just
God.
ridiculous.
That's
Yeah.
so good.
They've got a couple videos coming out that I can't. I hope they fucking put them out. It was entertaining. You were there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to see what they come up with
Yeah.
from that.
They do a great job at putting all that shit together. I went and was part of a video they did in the summer I think it was at
The pool.
at the pool party
I
thing,
didn't
yeah.
make it to that,
the
but I saw
Summer
that-
of
I saw the
Shafe or
video.
whatever the song's called. But it was fucking pretty cool, man. They got a drone camera going, and it was just
Awesome.
they just have it together,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Kind of jealous.
Yeah.
Kind of jealous. Kind of jealous.
Classic.
Kind of jealous.
Yeah, and I mean, it happens. I mean, someone's got to be there, right? I guess.
Yeah. The business aspect of
Did
shit.
these kids grow up in Vancouver? Is that why? They saw all these. I don't know any. I wasn't here when You Big Idiot came on the show. I've got some questions for them. Maybe I'll bring them back in.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, well, they'll be back. They'll be
I
back.
think we should bring them back in.
Now they
be
got the
back.
new guy, their new big idiot.
Oh
Classic.
snap! That's some cross contamination there for sure.
Yeah, they're fun, man. They're a good time.
All right. So I think we're coming to the end here. We've talked.
It's not a long story.
we've talked your stuff. I
Well, I
want
actually wanted
to
to-
say we lifted the ban on drinking on the show for this show.
We
did?
switched to vodka.
If it seems like we're babbling and rambling and
No.
talking over each other,
But I
it's
wanted to
because-
actually mention the singles versus albums versus
EPs. Depends on how
EPs.
much material you can really write.
yeah,
You know?
But I mean, like, as an artist, what's the value in your mind, Ben? Like do you prefer the full length experience, like writing that, or do you just want to get it out there? Just like we wrote a song. I want people to hear it. This is what we did over the past little bit, or is it like, hey, we spent a year writing a fucking journey,
Yeah.
like a whole thing?
Yeah. Well, I guess it kind of depends, right? I mean, there's time, there's money, and there's relevance. So you kind of got to be able to balance all that shit out. Relevance is a big one. You don't want to be, I mean, especially if you're up and coming or trying to establish a name for yourself, you don't want to be putting out a record every 4 years, right? And if you
material you're not happy with.
that's right, or rushing it out.
Forcing a full length over putting
Absolutely, yeah.
something you're content with.
Absolutely. And I mean, most people in bands, you know, in our scene, that's their hobby. They got families and jobs and shit, you know? So you don't have time to sit down and spend a year writing a fucking album.
Yeah.
So if you have the time, and I mean the money too, right? I mean, it's not cheap to go record and then get it pressed and pay for art and all that shit, right? So it's, time versus money and relevance.
But what feels like, I guess my question is,
You wanna stay
What
relevant.
do you like though? Like, do you like the getting stuck in and writing like a full like thing,
Thanks, bro.
or is it kind of like I don't know.
I
you know
would
what
love
I'm saying?
to. I mean, I'd love to. If we had the time, I'd love to sit down. And I think since it's been a while for us writing, I think if we could all, say, take 6 months off work, and I think we could fucking hammer out a pretty good full length. We've got a bunch of skeletons of songs already, and we just haven't had the time to put in and get it done.
But is it important to? Sorry, like, is it important to have them connected, or is it the same? Like, I don't write music, but I'm just wondering, like, if you have a sweet song or two couple tracks, you're like, hey, that's awesome, let's put that out. Is it really related to the other ones, or is it, you know what I mean? And you're like, oh, we also have this other one, and you kind of keep putting them out.
Like
or
the AC/DC thing, where they write albums, not songs.
Yeah,
right?
well,
it doesn't have to. You can, you can definitely.
Well, of course, it's not the norm, but I mean, is that like what feels the best for you?
That kind of isn't really how we write. When we're arranging an album, that will come into play, kind of like the flow and the feel. But we definitely don't write it in that regards. Not yet, anyways. But we haven't done a full length yet either.
No,
though.
fair enough.
So we just kind of write about things that we feel are relevant and are interesting and whatnot, and we kind of just hope that it'll all sort of be in the same vein somewhat. But for us, I think, and I mean, we haven't done much in the last little fucking while anyway, but I think the key thing is to just keep filtering out a little bit of material if you can, and stay relevant, as opposed to waiting a couple, 3-4 years for a full length, because no one's gonna buy the same EP again. You know what I mean? Like,
that's the thing. I got a couple points to bring up on this. You can set your intentions to put out a fucking full length album every year if you want, but that doesn't mean the material's gonna come fast and swift, and you're gonna be happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of saying we're putting out a 12-song album this year. I say,
it's arbitrary
let's
number.
Go through the year, and the experiences that we have throughout the year will dictate the amount of material that we have.
Yeah.
If you have to force a little bit on the end, that's not too bad. But if you only have 3 or 4 songs and you need a whole album, and then you force 6 songs onto that album of material that you're not invested in, happy with,
pumped about,
all that stuff.
For sure.
I think that's why punk bands and solo acts and all these we end up coming up with. We would much rather do we would much rather do a couple of solo songs and release them and get the adulation from that.
That's right.
Than
the feedback
putting out a 12-song album and having people just completely disregard 99% of it.
That's
because
right.
one little bit of it might be okay.
Yeah. Also, these days, with fucking social media and the internet the way it is, and Vine videos kind of just put the nail in the coffin, I think, for that. Like those 8-second videos, like people, like I'm guilty of it too, if someone posts a video on Facebook and it's more than a couple minutes, chances are I'll be like, oh, I'll watch that later. And I probably won't.
Yeah,
and I'm kind of
what the
curious.
material is.
It obviously
does it
depends.
keep your attention? Absolutely.
That's right. Yeah. So unless it's a band that you fucking love already and you're going to put the time in to listen to a full record, there's a good chance people are going to just fucking listen to the first couple, and that will probably be it anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's a blanket statement,
no, but I mean, I think
that's just the way people's fucking attention spans are these days,
Yeah, no, I agree.
So maybe...
So that's why I'm a big... the podcast knows, I guess, but like I'm a big fan of singles.
Allegedly.
EPs, allegedly. Like, I love it. Like, I think, like, that's...
You got to stay current.
When someone's like, oh, an album.
That's
I'm
right.
like, why
you have
are you
to
doing...
stay current.
Like, if you're doing an album, I feel like you should have a really, really, really good reason to do it. And not just because we want to do an album.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like it should be...
Well, that's the thing.
How
many exciting experiences are you having in your life that can fill a fucking 45 minutes?
I mean, I feel like the album is something that like a band's first thing can do, and they got all their songs and they put it out, and then after that it's EPs or singles or whatever, because like, you got that big push. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, totally. You're on the right track. I've been saying that about bands for years, where like when they're hungry when they're hungry and they want something, they come out with a strong album, and
Like
the
a
strong
real
album sells well. All of a sudden, they have money in the bank and they're not really struggling. The material is way harder to come across.
Yeah.
But it's,
If
but
you're
the thing is that
comfortable and
it's
you have
still
nothing to
happening,
complain
though.
about, your music is well. I'm not going to say it happens all the time,
Yeah.
but a lot of the bands that I grew up fucking admiring fell flat on later releases.
Yeah, the
And I think
sophomore
it's
release
because
is
they
tough.
hit so hard. They
Yeah.
hit so hard in the beginning that they ended up too comfortable.
Yeah.
And if you're too comfortable, what the fuck are you saying? Like no one wants to hear
But
about
again,
you being
but
comfortable.
that's
But
the thing
also,
that-
you've got a 7 record contract.
Yeah.
And, you,
How
and,
you
you're,
have
and,
to
and
write
you're,
that
un,
while
and you're under the gun.
you're
You've
comfortable.
got deadlines, so there's definitely going to be some shit that's just thrown together to get
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fucking content
Absolutely.
up, right?
Yeah.
Look at Guns N' Roses, fucking Chinese Democracy. How long did that take to get? And they had a major meltdown in the fucking in the process. Like,
What a huge heap of shit that was. Fucking 10 years, $1 million later. Yeah.
I mean, there's almost
Sorry,
like,
Joe. Joe's gonna be pissed that I said that.
There's like something fun about the spectacle of that in itself. But I mean,
there's something really
No
fun
one
about
can
the
do that.
spectacle of that.
Yeah.
For sure.
yeah, I don't know. It's just
Hey,
like
Axel getting his shit together and going out and fucking belting it out every night again.
With
With
ACD
Slash on the same stage.
Yeah.
We all said it would never happen.
Yeah,
I guess the money was good enough, eh?
yeah.
Eh?
And then he did an AC/DC tour too, didn't he?
He stepped up when fucking Brian Johnson couldn't.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I do think that like in bands in general, like
If you want to make a statement, though, it's like, hey, Brian Johnson can't continue his tour. I'm Axl Rose. I can do that.
Yeah.
nice.
I can do it.
Yeah.
Kinda.
I can do that.
probably.
And I think he did.
It's
I don't know
fine.
anything about it really.
But no, I think that like to me the creative process is better suited to the EP. Because you make it, you're like
It's
kind of like
it's definitely a shorter time frame that you have to look at.
yeah, well, just like hey, like you were saying, sitting around in the kitchen writing a track, and you're like, hey, that's fucking sweet. And
No
you're like-
pressure. That's
and
no
you're-
pressure
yeah.
writing.
And then you're like, okay, let's do that. Let's take that to the end. Let's finish that one.
Let's do that
and you're like,
12
okay,
times.
yeah. And then it's like, well, I don't have the second one. We'll put it out. But it's like, well, no,
It
we got to
becomes-
put it on
it
an
becomes harder and
album
harder.
and wait like 6 months. So that's when you say relevance. I think that
I think
it's
that's a
also
big part
true,
of
and
it,
it's
yeah.
relevance to yourself as an artist.
That's right, yeah. You put something out, even if it's 4 or 5 songs every year, it kind of feels like a bit of an accomplishment. Keeps you kind of
Yeah.
fucking on your toes.
Yeah.
Keeps people also like, okay, they put out another EP. These guys are really banging it out.
Yeah.
And even if it's 5 songs, whatever, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't mind it. I just think having a full length's probably good if you want to go touring, right? That kind of proves that you've put in the work. You can get it done.
It's definitely a much more substantial piece of merchandise.
Fuck yeah, dude. Absolutely.
A full-length piece of vinyl or whatever, you can definitely get more
Beta.
for that on the road than a 4 or 5 song EP.
Yeah,
for
absolutely. Absolutely.
It's a balancing act.
Yeah, man. Fair enough.
You know, you don't want to put out terrible product,
Obviously.
but you got to be current and relevant.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, to
This
yourself
guy's got
too.
ball
right?
sacks. He's fucking waving ball sacks around out here.
Oh, I
Dude,
can't.
that's
No,
a
it's a
fucking
pocket,
pussy.
This guy's, I thought it was a ball sack, but it's a pocket pussy.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
It was
I didn't
the
catch
guts
that.
of a
He's waving it over his
fleshlight.
head like this.
Jesus.
You're like this.
Good lord.
I was like, I think he's got a fake ball sack. No, no, that's a pocket pussy.
Some more ATD fans.
It's funny how they become almost indistinguishable when they're moving at a fast rate.
Fair point. Fair point.
Oh, God.
Nice. Ridiculous.
Oh, we should
Well,
derailed this fucker.
Should we
didn't
talk about the float house?
Let's talk about the Float House. We are sponsored by the Float House. We do this podcast here every Monday night. And if you want to better yourself, your mind, your body, float in
Your spirit.
some salty water. I love it. Well, actually, I can't say I love it. I haven't even tried it yet.
I know we both. Maybe we should do it together. Not together. But
We should get some
same
adjoining
day.
rooms.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to
I
share.
think we should do this.
I want to share a float wall with you.
I would like to share a float wall with you. You said you floated?
Yeah, he's floated.
I've done it once, yeah.
Yeah,
Ben has
we
floated.
haven't done it, and yet we're
Tell us about your float experience.
Well, it wasn't,
Also promote floating.
I was gonna say, well,
Do it in a shiny light.
well, I went out with my wife for her birthday, I think it was, and we had dinner reservations, and she wanted to try this float house thing. It wasn't here; it was at another one. But I'm not much of like a meditator or
Meditator.
I believe it's
like
called
that.
a matador. Oh wait, that might be different.
So I honestly got a little bored after about 10 or 15 minutes of the hour that I was in there, and I just ended up fucking splashing around and acting like an idiot.
Like a seal,
Totally
just like whapping the water.
And I was really hungry. I just wanted to get the fuck out of there, honestly. But that's not what you're supposed to go for. You want to lose consciousness of your body,
Yeah,
and
I don't think you were.
I was too
In the
hungry.
right mind frame.
I don't think you were ready.
Wasn't ready.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool how floatable
The salt
You
water.
You're almost resting on it. You're
yeah,
not even.
you are. You're just kind of lying on top of it.
The
It's
body
a bit of a trip.
temperature salt water, right?
Yeah, it's so body temperature
That's what no
you
one.
can't even feel
I
it.
don't think anyone really explains what it is when you go into one of these tanks, and like you go into one of these tanks and it's full of Epsom salts and other salts and
Water.
water.
There's a ridiculous amount of salt in
and
there.
it's body temperature. So you're basically floating like you're in the ocean, and the
Super ocean.
a super ocean, and the water is your body temperature. So there's no difference between like outside and inside.
Yeah, if you lay perfectly still, and I did for a bit, you definitely can lose sort of sensation of your body. You know, you can't even feel anything. You're floating. Everything's like the exact same temperature. Mm-hmm. It's kind of neat. It is pretty neat experience. Don't know if I'd go for an hour. It's a little long.
MD claims.
Unless you're into meditation.
But if you're into meditation,
If you're
you
into
can become
meditation.
one with whatever. It's probably a good place to do that shit, I guess.
Yeah, ideal place, really.
Ideal.
But the float house I
And-
hear is fantastic for that.
This float house will give you 20% off
Your next flow.
your next float if you punch in II podcast into that coupon slot.
Lowercase I.
Lowercase I, lowercase I, lowercase I podcast.
Yeah, not like pirates. II podcast. Anyway.
That's not even pirates. That's like
It is pirates. I mean,
II
sure.
captain is,
All right,
is like
all right.
straight up
Sure.
Oh, I
Sure.
see.
military, naval.
Naval. You're right. Captain.
Why is your belly button called the naval and the military is called the naval?
I don't know,
This
Gtone.
isn't a joke either.
Oh, I was waiting. I was like, I would like to hear the punchline of this.
I'm asking.
I'll find out for you, maybe.
Pull it up. Let's take a look.
Pull it up. Why is a belly button called the naval?
Naval
Comparison.
body part.
Naval belly button, naval military.
We'll do a real-time search here.
It's
Naval.
a real interesting podcast this week.
Oh,
folks.
yeah. The navel, clinically known as the umbilicus, collectively or colloquially known as the belly button or tummy button, is Jesus, this is very involved. All placental mammals have a navel.
Placental mammals.
Yeah.
I love it. It sounds like
We'll
a
get
new
into that
ATD
later.
song.
That's an after.
Can that be an ATD song? Placental mammals?
Could be.
It sounds like a band in itself.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe it is, yeah.
New band, yeah.
Anyway.
Placental mammals. Are we good?
Yeah.
I think we're
Yeah.
good.
Next
So,
ATD show, March 17th
there we
at
go.
the Rickshaw.
Nice.
ATD, March 17th, Rickshaw.
Bishop's Green, Dreadnoughts, and a couple other bands. I'm really sorry, but I can't remember them. off
Paddy
the top of
Wagon,
my
I'm
head.
pretty sure.
Paddy Wagon, and I want to say Slip-Ons. You know what? Let me take a quick check
I
here.
love that name. Slip on.
That's not Jono from...
I don't believe so. I mean, he is in pretty much every fucking band that's going right now, but I don't
shout out
think...
to Jono McGee from Victoria there.
And his new band, the Rival Gang.
Rival
who
Gang.
we played with in Victoria.
Don't
and
mess with them.
They are fucking fabulous.
The Rival Gang.
Fabulous punk band.
Nice.
And Victoria in general. It's like our fucking second home, man. We get we're really well received in Victoria, surprisingly. We've been
That's
there 3
great.
times. And it's a lot of fun. Got
Awesome.
some good bands out there. Good bands. Good promotion. Good bands.
If someone were
It's a good place to go.
look up your band or you personally, where would they find you?
Me, Ben VonDubya, Facebook, Instagram.
How do you spell that? VonDubya?
B-E-N.
B-E-N.
V-O-N-D-U-B-Y-A.
Did I call you Ben earlier and it's Ven?
No, it's Ben.
Oh,
Ben.
okay.
It's actually
Ben.
Sorry. Sorry.
Ben
I was like, hold on.
VonDubya.
Did I fuck that up?
Yeah, no, Ben
Yes.
VonDubya, Facebook, Instagram, ATD, A Total Disappointment, I think, on Instagram, Facebook.
I think the Bandcamp was just total.bandcamp or
That's
something.
right. Bandcamp is total.bandcamp.
Nice. That's early.
Yeah, and then so we'll have that split once we get those
The
back.
core and ATD split.
The core and ATD.
It's going to hit
is
hard.
Split.
It's going to hit hard.
Yeah, should be good. Should be good. And I couldn't have asked for a better other band to go
How
on a
could you?
split with.
How
A
could you?
fucking fantastic band. So yeah, super happy about that. So once that gets back to us, we'll chuck that up on the Bandcamp too. Yeah.
Fucking A, brother. Can we get a Clinkies on camera? My camera or your camera?
Here, let's do this one.
What do we got?
Nice. Gtone, where can people find you?
My name is Guy David McDonald. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me my music that I've been writing and recording. You can find that at Kickrox Records, KICKROXRECORDS.com Skeeter/merch. Oh,
That's a lot of letters. Nailed it.
punch
Nicely
that
done,
in.
though, yeah.
Punch
Nicely
that in and
done.
figure it out.
Dare
bud.
you to find that. Nice.
All right.
We'll make. How about we tell MD to put that in the show notes? MD, you're gonna put that in the show notes?
Only if he's going to cut it out. Only if he cuts my voice out.
Fair enough.
Right on.
All right.
Cheers, brother.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
very
me.
much for joining us, Ben.
Absolutely honored.
Thanks,
Super,
man.
super good to learn a whole bunch about you. Now I know you a whole bunch better, and everyone else does too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
thinking about just keeping the booze involved in the show.
Yeah.
There's no way you had the fucking Real Mackenzie's dudes on here and they weren't drinking.
Oh, we did.
There's no fucking way.
That was a.
It was a
that-
major.
Anyway,
it
we'll
was
talk
a
about
major
that one
drunken show, but I wasn't here for that.
Oh, I see.
after. I was here.
It's
I
you
allegedly-
that's
Stop.
been
Yeah, it's me.
boozeless.
I
I
fucked
see.
up.
No, it was just a little. It was a little
Hiccup.
It was interesting. It was good.
I was gonna say I've seen the episode of Troy and Dan. There's no way they weren't drinking.
Oh, anyway. Okay.
Okay.
All right, thanks for having me.
Cheers, everybody. Look up ATD.